What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? Hopefully you're having a great morning. The markets, Luna Classic seems to be holding up pretty well, despite the rest of the market down about $51 billion on the day. Now, percentage-wise, down 1.4%, but it had a nice little spike as we were entering into the late part of yesterday's data. So, sitting at 4,060,460 right now, it's actually a pretty good spot compared to where some of the other things are right now, with Ethereum down 3.5%, Solana down 4%, Bitcoin down 2%, a lot of different stuff, just sort of bleeding right now as the U.S. market comes online. But it looks like it was the European market that ended up being the biggest taker of the night. Chinese market also a little bit in the negative, but we'll break this down so you guys have an idea. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Let me know today, do you think it's fair? This is my prediction. My prediction for Luna Classic for 2025 is 2027. So if you think that's a good one, then put a yes or no down below. Tell me why you think that's possible or why it's not possible. So let's get into it. By the way, new background, who dis? Yes, my room is magical. Okay, guys, before we get started, go to Trobits. This helps me tremendously to continue to provide you with this content. This site burns Luna Classic and it burns SHIB. All you have to do is go there and try it out. Now, the reason for that is because it's using ad revenue to burn everything. So you have ads everywhere on this page, but you also have news. Now, something that's interesting, if you're wondering, one of the reasons why crypto is struggling, Japan's 40-year bond yield nears all-time highs. What does that mean for crypto? Well, what that means is, if people Japan, by the way, currently a big investor in U.S. bond, they're one of the biggest debt holders for the United States. If they decide to divest and they start to move into Japanese bond yields, which are now higher than they've ever been, if they start to make those sort of moves, then guess what? That weakens the U.S. dollar, because what will happen is it will drive up demand for Japanese bond yields, lower demand for U.S. bond yields, driving up the price for U.S. bond yields to attract more people to come in. So not going to end very well for the United States if this were to continue happening, and you would know that if you went to trobits.com. So check it out. Also, North Korea's $1.5 billion crypto heist. Now look, most people are saying it's a DPRK that committed the Bybits hack. I don't know whether it is or not. What I do know is that ZachXBT, some of these guys are coming out right now saying that, DPRK, they represent a huge amount of cryptocurrency traffic on some exchanges. So that's, I don't know what's going on there, but I think we have reason to at least be a little curious and a little bit nervous. Speaking of being a little bit curious and a little bit nervous, I'm on Binance and I don't know why. So if anybody can tell me why I'm on Binance today, and I have no affiliation with Binance or anything like that, but for some reason, A1 Crypto put up a picture of me today as that it would be news, or I have no idea what's going on here. But again, we go to Binance Square, we look for articles, information, we look for all these different things to try to come up with a strategy or something, and for some reason, I don't know what's going on. But if you guys know, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, there is a push right now to reclassify Happy Caddy Crypto and LUNC Live as meme validators as opposed to actual validators, which to me, that's silly. And of course, this is a joke, and somebody who's not happy with the results. Remember, the not happy with the results we'll get to in just a minute, but like I said before, there's no leadership on this chain. It's all fully decentralized to the detriment of the price and the community. Now, these guys are going to argue that point with me, and they would have a fair and valid argument, in my opinion, because really, we all have a difference of opinion on what we want to see. Most of you guys, you want to see explosive price movement. You want to see the capturing of new eyes. You want to see people paying more attention over here. But in order to do that, then we're going to have leadership to get there. Otherwise, we're just adrift. And when something gets made or something like that happens, then maybe it causes a little momentary feel. Look, we're in a complicated situation in which it's a struggle to find eyes. We already have a $350 million market cap, meaning that any kind of pump that we get is going to have to be significant. Yesterday, the Ripple lawsuit was dismissed. I told you guys that I expect that Ripple's going to have a pretty good move, and it had a good move, but not a great move. Now, why was that? Well, we can look at it and say, well, the market is being manipulated. Of course, it's being manipulated by institutional. As soon as there were... and by the way, just to give you just a clear sort of logic when you're talking about it, and I don't want to get onto XRP too much, but when you look at it from this context and you know that you're trading at or near the all-time high, everything that's happening right now is brand new. There's no situation here in which people are like, oh, I've reached my profit-taking objective, et cetera, because you are so far above you're at your all-time high level. You're in price discovery, basically, or at least you're kind of, and not too many people bought up here at the top. Okay, let's be honest, right? A few people, and they're not the ones that are selling over here. Okay, it's the people down here who are selling off for a big profit, right? But what I think is happening more than that is I think that institutions are selling the moment there's a pump for buying. And I think that what they're doing is they're using an AI algorithm to trade, and then they're pumping and dumping, and they're doing futures trading. And I've already told you and explained to you how that happens. But if you look at what we've talked about here and you kind of break this out just a bit, then you make an argument, you make a big argument here that we're in another sort of rectangular channel, right? Sort of there. So at the halfway point, we'll probably move up to the top of this range. I don't know if it breaks out or not. If not, we move back down to the bottom of the range. And this seems to be where they like to trade. So we got here to the bottom. Now the markets are pumping it up towards the top so that they can then switch the position and start to short and then sell off on it again. So that's what I think is happening. Is it really happening? I don't know. But we'll talk about Luna Classic price in just a moment. But to be clear here, I know I got lost a little bit there, but the reason that something like XRP, the lawsuit, we just didn't get anything, right? So going back to this, there's going to take a lot to get something to happen in cryptocurrency that will cause Luna Classic to spike. So in the meantime, we're left trying to figure out what to make of, what really should be just kind of a comedy act here. Not really worthy of discussion, if you will. Both of these guys, they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. Validate with them, don't validate with them, that's your choice. All right, as far as price goes, and Hera still up a little bit. Garuda X maintains itself as looks like the premier thing in the ecosystem right now. Food still up pretty good. Juris up pretty good. Terra's a little bit kind of break even since we picked it up. If you remember, we only had 5,000, then we had to pick up another 5,000 in order to do staking and stuff like that. So we have, and I haven't staked it to earn any more in a little while. Still holding on to it, just kind of keeping it in the wallet just to see what would happen there. Watch kind of the price growth over a couple days just to see how it played out. Also have some base token, which doesn't show up in this list for some reason. Maybe I'll import it, try to figure out why that's not working, but base token not included in there. So if you want to buy, then you go to terraport.finance, or you can buy them over here on CoinHall. There is a swap available. Now, let's talk about, so here's what ended up happening. What ended up happening here is this was the proposal for establishing the Terra Classic sub-DAO initiative. It was rejected. Now, who was it rejected by? Well, it wasn't all nodes. All nodes thought that it was a great idea. And they say it's probably the right time to change and try something new. They understand what I understand. What I understand is that we are adrift without an oar. Okay. Now, Interstellar Lounge abstained, but Happy Caddy Crypto, no with veto. Click on the vote to see more. He gave information about why, maybe, I don't know. And then over here, Jesus is Lord. I oppose the formation of paid leadership bureaucrats, diminishing the importance of community governance and potentially harming the chain. Cool. LUNC Live, same thing. Terra Vita voted yes. We support empowering people to be more effective at driving Terra Classic towards a new era of growth and prosperity. And by the way, there's a fight going on. There was a fight going on between multiple validators talking about are you looking out for Are you looking out for the chain? Are you looking out for decentralization? Are you looking out for the people who are invested? There's the question to answer. And I think everybody would be really nice if we answered that question instead of just kind of made up our own. Well, the reason I'm doing this argument, all nodes understands exactly what's going on over here. All nodes gets it. They understand that we are rudderless at this point, that in order for something positive to happen, something different has to happen. It's time to try something new. So we got Terra Vita also voting yes, Vegas Nodes, Juris Protocol, LUNC Goblins, Firefly Capital, Garuda, Classic Nodes, and then of course we have multiple people, individuals, and we've got Community First. CFL are changing our vote to no with veto to reflect the seriousness of the risk to our chain. So this is a group that had voted a different way on their votes. So you can see over here that they voted no, and they changed their no to no with veto. So you guys, by validating with them, gave them the power to do this, by the way. So this is not their fault. This is your fault if you didn't like this. And if your validator's not voting your way, there's nobody else to blame but you're the one that did it by not giving yourself into a validator that supported your belief system. I'm not sure that All Nodes is that group, but they're the biggest one and they voted yes for it. So yeah. Now, reclassification to a meme token, probably not going to happen. Doesn't look like there's a lot of excitement in that. So let's look at the price action right now. The price action continues to bounce. I think we've got one more dump happening over here. I've moved the money flow down over here. I don't think we're at the bottom yet. The more I look at it, the more I think that, this little dip that came down here at the bottom, I think that's down here. I don't think we're at the bottom yet. So I do think that this move, I think, I think the U.S. is going to nuke us any moment now, today, most likely. Or for the next couple days that we come down into this range right here, 4047 for LUNC. And then we start a rapid and fast recovery going into this little range right here. So 3.5x from this bottom. If you, and I'm not saying that it's ever going to reach it, because I told you before there was a certain spot that I wanted to get to and it never came up in USTC. But, if you look at it from where it is right now, then, that's a pretty good move. Now, when we talked about USTC, what I told you was, I'm looking for an opportunity to make a trade. And then in order to do that, I need the price to come down a little bit more. And here's the 1 hour chart. We're not even close to where I was talking about. So what I was talking about down here was getting down into this little range down here towards the bottom of this right here. Nope, not even close. We continued our upward trend. Then we broke out just a little bit, got to 1.4 cents, somewhere near, where'd that go? 1.465 cents, and then rejected off of that, created this little channel right here. We're at the edge, kind of the inflection point right here. Looks like there's a breakout imminent. If we take this off, and we're doing this on the 1 hour, by the way, you can see here from the Bollinger Bands, we are super, super tight right now. Go to the 4 hour, getting super, super tight right now. So there is a moment here where this thing is about to break out. You can see this is getting tight right now. Just started getting tighter in the Bollinger Band. But when we get that tightness, that's when we get the moves. That's, once it tightens up, that's where you get some kind of move. So the market is looking for direction. It's consolidating its range right now. I think it looks like it's going to go upwards. The market seems to be. I don't think the market. I don't think the market is not disgusting, if you will. So we might see a lift off of this. The general sentiment in the market, I think, still remains kind of positive, other than tariffs, and with Trump putting back the Canadian tariffs and pausing everything. That's a good sign. So maybe we'll see something really good happen. I don't know for sure, but you can see right here from the day, we're still down in volume, but we're up in price action just a bit. Same thing over here, only we're dead even on the day. And again, I didn't get to my spot, so I didn't buy any UST. Burns are up a little bit compared to the day before. So does that mean that we burned a lot yesterday? Well, not exactly. We burned 29 million, which is a horrible number. Today we burned 16 million, but you can see there's just a trend of very little being burned right now. Very little movement happening in this ecosystem. We're struggling with these numbers at the moment. Now, they will fix themselves. It does have a way of, finding these kind of burns. Right now, interest is not there. So There is, that's kind of it right now. So, look, I think it's real simple. We have been done a disservice, in my opinion, by some of these validators in voting no or no with veto. That is my opinion. Doesn't change that I like or dislike anybody, just a difference of how we're supposed to get to where we're going, right? We don't always agree on the path. I think that today we were done a disservice, and I think that for the purpose of decentralization, that's the reason that they will give, that they don't want to give too much power to anybody. And that's also the problem with Luna Classic, is that by not giving power to anybody, nobody has power, so nothing is getting done. So what's the next step? What is, how do we moon this bitch, I guess, is the question. And the way that we do that, of course, money flow coming back into the market will have an enormous spike. And that's where I get my 40x, where I give you the number that I think is going to happen here, where I tell you that I think, that we're going to go to 2027. That's my number right now. So, and I don't have a better selection. I don't have a better pick that I can give you, because it just at this point doesn't make any sense, because again, your validators are prohibiting you from getting that pump that you're looking at. And they're not doing it intentionally. They're not just trying to wreck you or manipulate you. They're just trying to do what's right by them, in their opinion, about what should be happening in this ecosystem. So, you decide for yourself what you want. But, in closing, it should be noted that it looks like for the moment we are on this upward trend. Now, the reason I bring that up is because we were on this upward trend until we got to the top up here, and then we came back down. Well, it looks like the pattern is repeating itself. So, again, fortunately, I do think that we're in a position where the market is starting to move in a positive way. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you're nervous about Luna Classic, you have reason to be. It is my opinion that you have reason to be nervous about it. And you have reason to do what I just did, which is question whether or not people are looking out for your better interest. Problem with that statement, though, is I don't know what your better interest is. If it's just the price pump, then that's not sustainable. So, maybe it's better that we just allow these people to cook. But again, I'm going to say this. Without leadership, we don't have a website. We don't have any of the fundamentals that a real business even has. Like, we're not even a real business from that context alone. And a lot of people are happy with it. Those are the people, by the way, that have the most power, and look how they're voting. Let that sink in. Again, you decide what you want, and you validate with the people who best support you and what your beliefs are in validating, and make those moves now. You have to send a message to people, by the way. If you continue to allow somebody to validate and they vote against your interest, and you continue to validate with them, hoping that it'll come back around one day or something like that, you're the problem. They're not. You're giving them the power, and you're allowing them to tell you what's good for you, instead of somebody whose thing you believe in. So if your answer was no with veto, then you should be validating with LUNC Live. You should be validating with Happy Caddy Crypto. If your vote was yes, you should be validating with all nodes. I can't believe I just had to say that. Or anybody else who voted yes. But they recognize that there's a problem. Why does everybody else know? It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.